attributes. So types of attributes. There are different types of attributes as we can see here: simple attribute, composite attribute, derived attribute, and multi-value attribute. Simple attributes are the attributes which cannot be divided further. Means if we are going to take example, so let's see a definition only. Now composite attribute. Composite attributes are the attributes which can be broken down, into different attributes. We can say that sub attributes. Now when we see a derived attributes are the attributes which are derived from the other attribute. It is not necessary to give the derived attribute directly into the database. It is derived from the attribute which is already present in the database. Now multi-value attribute is the attribute which have multiple values. Means here we take the example of a phone number. Phone number of a student can be there can be multiple phone number of a student. When we use a dual SIM mobile, there will be different phone numbers. There will be two phone numbers. So it comes under the multi-value attributes. Now let's see one of the example. Here in this example we can see the student as entity, and in student entity there is a roll number attribute, name attribute, and date of birth attribute. So these are the simple attributes which cannot be divided further. Now you can relate it by visualizing it. So these are the simple attributes. When we come to the composite attribute, here we can see that ellipse which have sub ellipses in it. So it comes under the composite attribute. As we can see the address, there is a street which is one of the sub attribute of the address, city which is one of the sub attribute of the address. There is also country and state which is a sub attribute of address. So this comes under this is a composite attribute which can be divided into sub attributes. Now next was the multi-value attributes. You can see here a phone number which is in the double ellipse. So it is a multi-value attributes. As I already told you earlier, there can be a different phone numbers of a single student. So it comes under the multi-valued attributes. Email address can also come under the multi-valued attributes. Here one more thing, you can see a dotted ellipse. In that dotted ellipse there is a age. So here age is a derived attribute. Now how age is a derived attribute? Here you might have observed that date of birth is present, and date of birth, with the help of the date of birth we can derive age also. So there is no need to define age separately. With the help of date of birth we can directly derive the age. So this is called as a derived attribute. Now let's see the different types of keys in the database management system. So there are different keys like primary key, super key, candidate key, foreign key, composite key, alternate key. So when we see a primary key is a key which uniquely identifies a record, and there will be only one primary key in a database. Remember that, this is a very important point. Second is super key, a set of attributes that uniquely identify a record. It is a set of attributes which uniquely identify records. Next, candidate key. Candidate key is a minimal set of attributes that uniquely identify a record. Minimal set means, what is minimal set? What is the candidate key? When we take an example, you will understand it more clearly. I am going to take example, so don't be confused here. Now foreign key. Foreign key is the attribute that links in two tables together. What is a composite key? Composite key, a primary key consisting of multiple attributes. Means when a primary key have multiple attributes, it is called as a composite key. It is similar like a composite attribute, but only difference is that it is a composite attribute with a primary key, so that it is called as the composite key. Okay, an alternate key. It is nothing but candidate key only, but which is unused. So let's take one example so that you will understand it more clearly. So here you can see that student ID, email, and phone as an attribute. When you see email and phone, there can be a possibility that two students have same email and same phone number. If you take a student of a school, it can happen that the two students have same parents, so they have same phone, same email, but student ID will be different in school. Every student will have different student ID. So it uniquely identifies the students. So it can be a so student ID can be a primary key. There can be a different keys also which identifies uniquely, but we have to take only one key as a primary key, one attribute as a primary key. So that's why we are taking the student ID as a primary key here. You can take another also if it uniquely identifies the student, then only. Then second thing is what? Super key. In super key, uniquely identification is required. So with the email we can identify it, with the phone we can identify it, and with student ID we can identify it. So these three are the these three comes under the set of the super keys. Now when we see a candidate key is not a set, but uh, it is a single entity, not entity, single attribute. We take a single attribute. In super key we are taking we are taking student ID as a super key. We can take student ID as well as email simultaneously as a super key. But in candidate key we cannot take that. We have to take student ID only, we have to take email only, or we have to take phone number only as a candidate key. So there it is not possible to combine two attributes to make it as a candidate key. So that is a basic difference between it. When we come to the foreign key, so the foreign key, as I had told earlier, it is builds a relationship between the different keys, and there is a foreign key is nothing but a primary key only, but it is present in the different table, and we are going to take that key to build a relationship between the different table, and when it comes to the different table it becomes a foreign key. And alternate key is nothing but a candidate key which is not used. So this was the concept of the keys in so that's what this was all about the video, and that's wrap up here. Let's wrap up it here. So in today's video we have seen the different types of keys, different types of attributes, entity set, attributes and keys. We also saw the ER model. Before that we have saw the different categories of data modeling, and before that we have seen the concept of data modeling. So that's all for today. Before ending this video, I would like to ask you, if you found this video useful, then please like, share and subscribe to our channel, and also feel free to drop your question if there is a question in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Let's see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.